Welcome to The Explainer, where we take complex stuff and make it clear. Today, we are diving deep into the nature of secrets. We're going to uncover a criminal conspiracy that was hiding in plain sight, pull back the curtain on classified government operations, and even take a journey to the very, very edge of reality itself. Okay, let's just jump right in with a secret that is as shocking as it is criminal. Now, this line you're seeing, this isn't from a movie script. It's a quote from a real federal indictment, and it describes a massive hidden operation that went on for a whole decade. So, our story kicks off with a series of pretty dramatic FBI raids. And who were the targets? Well, a guy named David Taylor and a woman named Michelle Brandon, the leaders of something they called the Kingdom of God Global Church. But as prosecutors allege, this was no ministry. It was actually a front for a multi-million-dollar criminal enterprise. I mean, when you read the federal indictment, it sounds like something out of a horror movie. It details this decade-long scheme where followers were allegedly forced to work, totally unpaid, in 9 different call centers. They were given these impossible donation goals, and if they didn't meet them, the punishment was just brutal. Humiliation, no sleep, no food, even physical assaults, all while being completely isolated from their friends and family. And the contrast here, it's just staggering. On one side, you have this incredibly extravagant lifestyle, supposedly bankrolled by nearly $50 million in donations. We're talking mansions, luxury cars, a boat. And on the other side, the harsh reality for the victims. No food, no sleep, and such total control that they were apparently forced to apply for government aid as homeless people, only to have to turn that money right over to the leaders. But secrets aren't just for criminals. Sometimes, the biggest secrets are the ones kept by the state, hidden from millions of its own citizens. And suddenly, this isn't about controlling a few dozen people. This is about a technological system of mass observation. In 2013, the world was absolutely rocked by these revelations from a former NSA contractor, a guy named Edward Snowden. For the very first time, we had documents that seemed to prove that the U.S. government was secretly collecting the phone records and internet data of millions of Americans, many of whom had absolutely no connection to terrorism at all. And the way it worked, the program codenamed PRISM, was shockingly simple. All of our everyday online activity creates this huge treasure trove of data. The government would then use secret court orders to force major tech and phone companies to just hand it over. The NSA would hoover it all up, store everything, and create this massive database that it could then search through for intelligence. So think about that. The very thing we built for connection, for community, for business, for fun, was secretly turned into a weapon. The entire digital world was basically repurposed into this enormous hidden surveillance network, watching and listening, all without us ever knowing or agreeing to it. But here's the thing. Not all secrets are kept in the dark, right? Some of the most powerful secrets are the ones that are declared right out in the open. They're framed as these undeniable truths to shape public opinion and policy. It's really the art of political messaging, turning an agenda into something that just sounds like obvious common sense. You can see this so clearly in a speech by former President Donald Trump. Just listen to the language here. He's not just saying he's going to change some regulations. No, he's framing his policy as ending a war on beautiful, clean coal. And that language, it turns a really complex policy debate into a simple, emotional story about rescue and restoration. And here's another kind of open secret, the strategic political announcement. By moving the U.S. Space Command headquarters, the decision gets framed as this massive win for the local economy and for national security. It makes anyone who opposes it seem, counterproductive. The agenda itself becomes its own victory. All right, so from the secrets of the state and the public stage, we're now going to turn inward. We're going to explore the secrets held inside a single, incredible mind. This is a story about a kind of genius whose insights seem to come from a place that literally no one else could get to. His name was Srinivasa Ramanujan. Now, picture this, a young clerk in India, no formal university training, and he sends a letter to G.H. Hardy, one of the most famous mathematicians at Cambridge University. And this letter is just packed with mathematical formulas so advanced, so original, that they seemed to just appear out of some secret well of knowledge. And he found a champion in Hardy, a man who could not have been more his opposite. Hardy was an elite, atheist academic who lived and died by the rigid rules of mathematical proof. Ramanujan, on the other hand, was a devout Hindu who claimed his formulas were revealed to him in dreams by a goddess. He was pure intuition, a visionary who just saw patterns in the universe that nobody else could. And for Ramanujan, this was it. This was the core of his secret. To him, math wasn't something humans invented. It was a divine language. Every single formula was a peek into the mind of God, a little piece of a hidden cosmic order. His genius and his faith were totally inseparable. There's this famous story about the taxicab number that just captures his intuitive power perfectly. One day, Hardy mentions that the number of his taxi, 1729, was pretty dull. But Ramanujan replied instantly, "No, it is a very interesting number. It is the smallest number expressible as the sum of two cubes in two different ways." He didn't have to calculate it. He just knew. It was like he could see this secret world of numbers, and he had the map. So we've journeyed through crime, politics, the state, and even into genius. And now we arrive at our final and most profound secret, one that claims not just to observe reality or understand it, but to actually bend and rewrite it. Okay, let's talk about Project Pegasus. According to a whistleblower named Andrew Basiago, this secret history starts when the government grabs Nikola Tesla's files after he died. He claims that from those notes, DARPA built a teleportation device. Then, in the 70s, they recruited children as chrononauts because their minds were supposedly more flexible for time travel, which all eventually led to creating a jump room to travel to Mars. And the claims are, they're just breathtaking. Basiago says he personally traveled back in time to watch Lincoln give the Gettysburg Address. He claims that a young college student named Barry Soetoro, who we now know as Barack Obama, was on his Mars mission team. The story involves running into Martian creatures and even getting access to the multiverse. It's an absolutely incredible story. A secret so big it could change everything we think we know about history, about technology, everything. But with claims this huge, one question becomes completely unavoidable. And when you start looking for that proof, the whole story starts to fray a bit. The science he describes just doesn't line up with known physics. Teleporting a person would take an unbelievable amount of energy. The words he uses, like vortal tunnels, sound scientific but seem to be a mashup of made-up terms. On top of that, the story has changed quite a bit over the years, and some of the key details he uses as proof were already public information. It really fits a pattern you see in other monetized conspiracy stories. Which brings us to our final big thought. We've looked at criminal secrets, state secrets, political secrets, the secrets of a genius mind, and even conspiracies that claim to rewrite reality. After peeling back all those layers, maybe the biggest secret of all is this. How do we, just regular people, figure out how to navigate a world where the truth is so often hidden, or manipulated, or sometimes just plain unbelievable? The ultimate challenge isn't just finding secrets, it's learning how to think critically about them.